Good evening and welcome. You're watching the News Hour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. It's a mega quake that hit Indian politics today. The most visible face of the Congress party, the de facto leader of the grand old party, Rahul Gandhi, ceased to be a member of parliament. While the legal battle will play out in the courts now, what's interesting is the political narrative that is being crafted around this decision. The Congress is protesting the action as the crushing of the opposition. The BJP, though, is underlining it as appropriate legal action after the insult of the OBC community. And it's this threat that's likely to dictate the course that politics takes in India in the lead up to the Lok Sabha elections next year. Because the BJP has now planned to highlight this case as one where an entire community, the other backward castes or the OBCs, have been defamed with Rahul Gandhi saying कि आजकल के ज्यादातर लोग जिनका नाम मोदी होता है वो चोर निकलते हैं. A community, the OBCs, that incidentally has huge political significance, forming almost 40% of the electorate nationwide. The BJP's OBC Morcha has planned a campaign against Rahul Gandhi pan-India from the 6th to the 14th of April. In addition to this, today all BJP leaders came out and slammed the former Congress president, saying that a proud people have not just been insulted, but now Rahul Gandhi is also refusing to apologize for it.
उन्होंने एक जाति का ओबीसी का अपमान किया है. उसके बाद जहां तक मुझे जानकारी है, बार बार कोर्ट में उनको पूछा गया था कि आप माफी मांगेंगे क्या, आप माफी मांगेंगे क्या. उन्होंने सख्त इनकार की है. तो लोग उनको ठीक तरह से सबक सिखाएंगे.
ओबीसी समाज जो आज चट्टान की तरह प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व के साथ देश की एससी एसटी वंचित वर्ग जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ खड़े हुए हैं, जो स्टेटमेंट के माध्यम से केवल एक बार नहीं अनेक बार उनकी माताजी ने मौत की सौदागर कहा था, जहर की खेती उन्हीं लोगों की मुंह से आई थी.
और देश को बांटने की सोच तो कांग्रेस की पहले दिन से रही थी. जाति धर्म संप्रदाय के नाम पर बांटना अलग बात थी. अब तो धर्मेंद्र जी ये अपमानित करने पे आ गए ओबीसी समाज को. जो किया है, 3 साल थे इनसे माफी मांगने के लिए, किसी से माफी तक नहीं मांगी. दूसरा, ये वायनाड के सांसद बने तो उन्होंने अमेठी वालों के बारे में अपशब्द, नॉर्थ इंडियंस के बारे में अपशब्द बोल दिया. आप भूले नहीं होंगे. ये असम के चुनाव में गए तो चाय की बात करके गुजरात और उसमें दरार पैदा करना शुरू कर दिया.
We're bang in the middle of election season, and here is why the BJP is going to town countering the Congress on this specific theme: insult to OBCs, a group to which the Modi community of Gujarat belongs, the community which is at the center of this defamation conviction of Rahul Gandhi. OBCs form a massive chunk of the electorate overall, but in rural areas, almost 44.4% of the total households, that's 17.24 crores, are OBCs. Across 7 states, OBCs are actually the dominant community in the villages. You can imagine then the importance of turning this defamation issue into a political message to rally all the OBC votes. The Congress, though, is scoffing at this as nothing more than verbal jugglery.
सही तो मोदी ये ओबीसी नहीं है. बीजेपी उसका झूठ मूठ का प्रोपेगेंडा कर रही है. राहुल गांधी जी ने डिमांड की है कि ओबीसी की जात निहाय जनगणना होना चाहिए, सेंसस होना चाहिए. अगर मोदी जी ओबीसी के रहते तो सेंसस में ओबीसी की जात निहाय जनगणना करते. वो ओबीसी के नहीं है, लेकिन बीजेपी इस तरह का माहौल बनाकर ओबीसी का वोट लेने के लिए ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं. अब लेकिन ओबीसी को भी पता चल गया कि मोदी ओबीसी के नहीं है. अब ओबीसी कभी बीजेपी को वोट नहीं करेगा.
Rahul Gandhi is a secular person, always for the masses, always for the weaker section of the society, always for the downtrodden. So these type of allegations is a malicious campaign to unnecessarily create some wrong impression about him in public.
So here's the thing. In the past, comments like Maut Ka Saudagar, Chaiwala and Neech made by the Congress against the Prime Minister have turned the tide in his favour electorally. This time with the BJP saying that not just the PM but all OBCs have been insulted by Rahul Gandhi. Could it end up denting the Congress even more along with the parties who are supporting Rahul Gandhi in this issue? Or will the impression of a witch hunt against Rahul Gandhi help create a sympathy wave in his favour and also in favour of the Congress party?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the debate, we have Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Tushar Gupta, Senior Editor at Swaraj, Dr. Riju Datta, National Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, Hardeep Singh Kingra, Leader of the Congress, Shakti Yadav, Spokesperson of the RJD, and Sanjeev Srivastava, Senior Journalist. But before we begin, I want to actually point out to you electorally. We've given a general overview of the OBC vote, but let's take a look state-wise at why in 2024 this could well be the trump card for the BJP. In Tamil Nadu, and we're talking about the rural areas here, in Tamil Nadu, the maximum OBC population is there in rural areas, 67.7%. In Bihar, it's at 58.1%. In Telangana, it's at 57.4%. In Uttar Pradesh, it's at 56.3%. In Kerala, it is at 55.2%. And in Karnataka, it's at 51.6%. These are just states I'm pointing out, where in the rural areas, the OBCs form more than 50% of the households. And the big message is not lost on anyone here. Of all these states that we are pointing out, take a look at these three: Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and also in addition to that, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Karnataka, which are poll bound. With 50% plus of OBC population, is it any wonder then that the BJP is banking on this political messaging? So let me start with the analyst Sanjeev Srivastava. Has Rahul Gandhi and the Congress given a trump card to the BJP through this whole OBCs ka insult hua hai message?
Hello.
Sanjeev Srivastava.
Well, Padmaja, only an election will provide the truthful answer to it. But frankly, I don't buy that argument. I completely understand when you said in your intro that it's a fight of narratives, and the BJP is trying to make it an OBC issue, and they're entitled. It's a political thing, and the Congress is not so much of crushing of the opposition, but the Congress is trying to make it an issue of that since Rahul Gandhi is raising inconvenient questions about Adani and the government wants to sidestep and divert attention from that issue, and hence this disqualification. So I don't know what the OBC issue, how much of traction it will get, because both in 2014 election and in 2019 election, the BJP poll strategy has largely focused on the OBC issue. So in the massive UP victory in 2014 election, the credit was given to how tickets were distributed, keeping key OBC's factors in mind. And the whole issue of Apna Dal, the Kushwahas, the Rajbhars, this whole consolidation of OBC is something which has been going on.
Exactly. So Sanjeev ji, you're right. In 2019 that messaging happened, in 2014 it happened, and here's how it paid off. If we take a look at the vote share of the BJP among Hindu OBCs, 2014...
Let me complete.
Just a second, sir. 2014 it was 34% and it climbed to 44% for the BJP. So clearly that messaging has paid off. That's why I'm asking, is this political suicide that the Congress may have done?
No. So that political messaging has peaked or has reached this crescendo because of the careful cultivation of OBC leaders, OBC factions, and focusing on that particular group politically. This thing, because who is going to buy Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi being OBCs? So this is, I think this is a smart move by the BJP. But I don't know how effective this will be politically.
Okay, let's have the journalist face off on this. Too much spin doctoring. Too much spin doctoring, Tushar Gupta. I mean, nobody is going to buy that Lalit Modi, Nirav Modi are some hapless OBCs.
No, but see, it's a continuation of what Rahul Gandhi was chanting in 2019, which was Chaukidar Chor Hai.
They are banyas.
The electorate then rejected the mayor's sloganeering, that Chaukidar Chor Hai on Rafale issue. Why would they accept that Rahul Gandhi is going ahead and labeling an entire community as thieves because of his disdain for the Prime Minister? Why would anyone want to accept that? See, my problem with the opposition is not that they believe that Rahul Gandhi can be the prime ministerial candidate. My problem is that they're not willing to learn from their mistakes. But Padmaja, an interesting theory is being floating around since the disqualification was announced. Does the Congress High Command itself want Rahul Gandhi out of the political equation given the way they've handled this case? Of course, there is a whole OBC...
So, I'm wondering who's floating this theory. Even we have heard this theory floating around. But to suggest that the Congress is trying to sabotage Rahul Gandhi, and everyone's saying a little birdie told me. But who is this birdie? Nobody knows. Who is this birdie who's saying that Rahul Gandhi is being sabotaged by the Congress, Tushar Gupta? Who told you?
Well, we all have our sources, but look, at the end of the day, a person who is happy to call for foreign intervention into Indian democratic institutions on foreign soil wouldn't care too much about vote bank politics. But at the end of the day, what Rahul Gandhi has done by making these utterances, and by the way this case has been handled by Rahul Gandhi's legal team on the issue of the OBC vote bank, Congress is now in a very tricky corner for 24. They constitute a significant chunk of the vote, as they do in several states, as you rightly pointed out. Now, Rahul Gandhi can contest from one seat, but it's about the 400 odd other seats where the Congress would want to contest for. And mind you, mark my words, Padmaja, be it Amit Shah, be it Narendra Modi, be it any union minister or any local worker of the BJP, everyone is going to get on the ground and remind the people that here is Rahul Gandhi, one of the faces of the opposition, who was going around labeling an entire community as thieves just a year ago.
Is this the next? Let me get in the Congress. Hardeep Singh Kingra versus the BJP. Mr. Kingra, is this the next Chaukidar Chor Hai / Chai Wala / Neech Jati moment for the Congress for this election? Because every election there is one rallying theme. 2014 मौत का सौदागर, then it was about वो चाय वाला है, then it was about वो नीच जाति का है, then it was about चौकीदार चोर है. Is this the latest slogan waiting to backfire, Mr. Kingra?
Padmaja, let me say one thing. All the OBCs in the country are not Modis, and all the Modis are not OBCs. Okay? Because OBC is a legal term. Jats are OBC in some states, Jats are not OBC in other states. Negis are tribal in Himachal, Negis are not tribal in Uttaranchal. So this is a narrative. This shows that people want to get political advantage out of this judicial judgment. Now, and that is what the people in this country think, that the judgment is also maneuvered in one way or the other to get political benefit. Otherwise, you tell me one thing, to call Nirav Modi or to call Lalit Modi as chor, do you think somebody is calling the entire OBC community as chor? There is no question. There are hundreds of OBC leaders in Congress. There are hundreds of... Congress made OBC leader as the president of this country. Gyani Zail Singh became president of the country. He belonged to OBC. So how can anybody say? This narrative is being set, of course. These days, media and the ground workers of BJP are trying very hard. In Kerala, 10,000 workers are there to please the, Christians and the Muslims. And the same Muslim and Christians are abused in other states in the northern India. So people now read it very carefully, what is the agenda, where the country is going.
Okay, Sanju Verma, disingenuous spin.
People are much wiser now. And
disingenuous spin, पूरी community को किसी ने बदनाम नहीं किया.
I did not heckle. What is this? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Padma...
Go on. I'll come back to you, Mr. Kingra. Let her respond to the first point you made. Disingenuous. Sanju Verma.
Padmaja, I just want to say one very clear thing, and that is that in 2019, the Patna High Court gave Rahul Gandhi a for the same case, pardon me, where he says that, Modi, 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 ये सब मोदी चोर क्यों होते हैं, नीरव मोदी, ललित मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी, these are the exact words. आप और खोजोगे तो आपको और मोदी भी मिलेंगे जो चोर हैं. This is what Rahul Gandhi said in April 2019 at Kolar near Bengaluru in Karnataka. And Patna High Court gave Rahul Gandhi a clean chit. A BJP leader had filed a case. That time the Congress party applauded the judgment of the Patna High Court, saying Patna High Court ने बहुत सही किया. Now, come back to 2023 March, the Surat District Court has given a judgment which is completely in contravention of the Patna High Court judgment for the same case, saying that Rahul Gandhi has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, which thereby void Article 102 of the Constitution and Clause 8.3 and 8.4 of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951 disqualifies him with immediate effect from the date of conviction/date of judgment. I want to ask the Congress party, जब आपके फेवर में जजमेंट दी गई थी by Patna High Court, you were applauding the judgment. When the Surat District Court gave a judgment which was not in Rahul Gandhi's favor, you have started doubting the bona fides of the Surat District Court. And let me remind the Congress, and if Rahul Gandhi is watching your show and his family retainers and Congress Darbari, even when Patna High Court gave a clean chit to Rahul Gandhi, it asked him to apologize, which he refused to do. That is my limited point. Look at the audacious arrogance of this dynast who behaves like an entitled brat and refuses not only to apologize, but not even so much as to express regret.
So here's my counter to this, Sanju Verma. You yourself said the Patna High Court did not find it defamatory, the same comments, and then the Surat Sessions Court finds it. That in itself, people will say suspicious.
I will answer that. I knew, Padmaja, you do your homework thoroughly, you will come to that. I just have this to say that if Rahul Gandhi feels, or any of the battery of lawyers who are willing to represent him feel that the Surat District Court has been unfair, he has 4 options. He can file a special leave petition in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
He can reappeal with the Surat, Sessions Court or High Court. He can also file under Article 32 a case in the Supreme Court saying my rights have been undermined.
Okay.
Or he can go to the President of India asking that the judgment in the Surat District Court be overturned. कांग्रेस ने ये चारों ऑप्शंस में से अभी तक एक भी ऑप्शन यूज क्यों नहीं किया, पहले ये बताइए.
You still avoiding my question. शक्ति यादव जी, आपकी पार्टी आरजेडी पिछड़ी जातियों की रहनुमा कही जाती है. अब जो है भाजपा ये पूरा नैरेटिव सेट कर रही है कि सारे ओबीसीज को इंसल्ट किया गया है, और देखिए राहुल गांधी ने जो उसके माफी तक नहीं मांगी. आप उनको सपोर्ट कैसे कर सकते हैं? क्या पिछड़ी जातियों का इंसल्ट आपको मंजूर है? इसका जवाब कैसे देंगे पॉलिटिकली?
जोशी जी एकदम पूरी बात साफ है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी ओबीसी जाति पर ही एक तरह से आरोप लगा रही है. क्या टाइटल कोई कास्ट होता है क्या? बिहार में तो टाइटल ओबीसी में है नहीं, इसीलिए हमारे यहां तो है नहीं ओबीसी कैटेगरी में. अगर कोई टाइटल अगर कास्ट होता है तो सिंह टाइटल है, डिफरेंट कास्ट सिंह टाइटल लगाते हैं. सवाल ये कहां होता है? सवाल तो साफ है कि लोकतंत्र का गला घोटा जा रहा है. डरी हुई है भाजपा 24 को लेकर के, सहमी हुई है, और सहमी हुई भाव का प्रकटीकरण है. और जिस तरह से हो रहा है, देश के लोग इन चीजों को बड़ी गंभीरता से देख रहे हैं. और अगर देश के अंदर में अगर 80,000 करोड़ का फ्रॉडिज्म अगर खुल करके सामने आया, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर में ज्वाइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी के गठन की अगर मांग होती रही, उस पर जवाब की मांग होती रही, अगर इन सवालों से अगर पूरी तरह से विफर करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी अगर कार्रवाई पर आती है, कोई विपक्ष अगर कुछ बोलता है, उससे खिलाफ एजेंसियों का इस्तेमाल करती है, कोई चैनल अगर कुछ साफ दिखाने की कोशिश करती है, उनके खिलाफ ईडी लगा है देश के अंदर में, तो सवाल तो साफ है. ये पूरी विपक्ष को समाप्त करना चाहती है. भाजपा सहमी हुई है और पूरी तरह से डरी हुई है 24 को लेकर के.
क्या तो आप इस बात से सहमे हुए हैं कि राहुल गांधी को सिंपैथी मिलेगी संजू वर्मा, इसीलिए अब आप जाति पर आ गए हैं, कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं?
पद्मजा जी, मुझे तो इस बात पर ताज्जुब है कि चाहे कोर्ट राहुल गांधी को क्लीन चिट दे या चाहे राहुल गांधी को कन्विक्ट करे, हमेशा कटघरे में भाजपा को ही खड़ा किया जाता है. और सवाल सबसे जो कठिन सवाल है पद्मजा जोशी जी के शो में, वो भाजपा के प्रवक्ताओं से पूछा जाता है. खैर, जो आरजेडी के प्रवक्ता ने कहा, मैं उनको जवाब देना चाहती हूँ. पहली बात तो आप जान लीजिए कि सरनेम और कास्ट के बीच में अंतर है, और इसी अंतर को दर्शाया गया है 127th अमेंडमेंट, जो कि अगस्त 2021 में मोदी सरकार ने पास किया था। इन दी 127th अमेंडमेंट, the Modi government actually gave us a very, very important, factor which needs to be recognized. It says that henceforth, the central government alone does not have the prerogative to decide who will be considered an OBC. Respective state governments have the freedom and the leeway to draw up their own OBC list, post which Gujarat and the likes of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh have actually categorized Modis as OBCs. ये तो पहले भी था, but post the August 2021 amendment, which is called the 127th amendment, Modis are officially categorized as OBCs. और मैं आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहती हूँ, that मुझे कोई एक सरकार बताइए पिछले 70-75 सालों में जहां पर 35% कैबिनेट के मंत्री ओबीसी हैं। आउट ऑफ द 78 ऑड कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स इन द मोदी गवर्नमेंट, 27 आर ओबीसी। कैन यू नेम वन गवर्नमेंट इन पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया which had 35% OBCs in its central cabinet?
शक्ति यादव जी, एक तरफ भाजपा ये आंकड़े दे रही है कि हमने सबसे ज्यादा रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिया है ओबीसी को, दूसरी तरफ आप ऐसे कमेंट्स को डिफेंड कर रहे हैं। एक और आंकड़ा आपको दे देती हूं, जो टोटल नंबर ऑफ एमपीज है अभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एज ऑफ 2020, 113 ओबीसी सांसद थे उनके, 43 शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स के सांसद थे और 53 शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट के सांसद हैं, विच मीन्स कि 37% जो सांसद भाजपा के आज के दिन में हैं वो ओबीसी कैटेगरी से आते हैं। तब तो क्लियर डिवीजन हो गया ना, एक तरफ 37% ओबीसी के पार्टी है जिनके एमपीज हैं, दूसरी तरफ जो कह रहे हैं कि भाई मोदी लोग चोर हैं।
नहीं, हमसे क्वेश्चन है
जी शक्ति यादव जी।
जोशी जी, ये एक सीधा सवाल, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री ने बिहार के अंदर में जाकर करके गडकरी जी ने कहा कि बिहार के लोग भटियारा होते हैं, तो पूरे बिहारी को आपने अपमान किया था, गांधी मैदान में आपने कही थी, डीएनए खराब आपने कहा था, किन किन शब्दों से पाकिस्तान में तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री जी के बारे में कंस्पिरेसी का चार्ज लगाया था, देश को आपने कहां खड़ा कर दिया था। रहा सवाल कि जिन लोगों के नाम लिए जा रहे हैं देश छोड़ करके चले गए, देश में है उनकी बात छोड़ दीजिए, देश छोड़ के जो लोग चले गए देश के पैसे लेकर के, क्या वो चोर अगर उनको कहा जा रहा तो कोई नाइंसाफी है क्या? सबसे बड़ा सवाल तो यहां है, क्या ये लोग नहीं गए क्या? मेहुल चौकसी नहीं गए क्या? नीरव मोदी नहीं गए? विजय माल्या नहीं गए क्या? अगर ये गए, अगर इनके संदर्भ में कोई सवाल खड़ा है तो क्या ये अपराध है क्या? लेकिन अगर आप पूरे लोगों का अपमान कर दीजिए, देश के अंदर में कई ऐसे शब्द जिन शब्दों का उच्चारण फिर भी आप कह रहे हो कि आप हम तो बिल्कुल सही है, तो सवाल है कि देश का आप लोकतंत्र का गला घोटते रहो तो जब काल मनुष्य पे चाहता है तो पहले विवेक मर जाता है। देश ने बहुत तानाशाह को देखा है, हिटलर को भी देखा है दुनिया ने, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है, लोकतंत्र है।
सो व्हेन इन द हीट ऑफ द इलेक्शन कैंपेन नेम कॉलिंग हैपेंस, अर्लियर इट वाज सेड कि भाई इनका डीएनए खराब है, लोगों ने यह कहा है कि भाई यादव परिवार में जो है उन्होंने चोरी की है, द फर्स्ट फैमिली ऑफ बिहार, राहुल गांधी को मीर जाफर बोला गया है। सो देन इफ दिस इज मेड इनटू एन इंसल्ट टू द कम्युनिटी, देन एवरीवन कैन स्पिन देयर ओन पॉलिटिकल नैरेटिव, राइट, सेइंग कि भाई जितने गांधी हैं सबको मीर जाफर बोल दिया गया।
नहीं, बट पद्मजा, एक सवाल ये भी है ना कि जब राहुल गांधी अपनी स्पीच दे रहे थे उन्होंने आखिर में क्या कहा था? अरे अभी यहां पर ढूंढो 3-4 मोदी और चोर मिल जाएंगे। डिफेमेशन केस हुआ था, आज सब स्पोक्स पर्सन कह रहे हैं मोदी जी ने ये कहा, मोदी जी ने वो कहा, कम्युनिटी को डिफेम किया। आज ये जजमेंट आई है तो सबको याद आ गया कि डेफेमेशन हुई थी, चाहे वो पर्सनल पॉलिटिकल अटैक्स थे। दे वर नेवर एन अटैक अगेंस्ट अ कम्युनिटी एज द सूरत कोर्ट हैज इंटरप्रेटेड, दे वर ऑलवेज पर्सनल अटैक्स इन द of Narendra Modi. But today everyone has got up and is questioning about the political narratives. But Padmaja, I also want to answer one other question that you asked, that can Rahul Gandhi get the sympathy vote? There are two scenarios. Let's say he goes to jail. The OBC vote is gone there and then. But how does the Congress expect to win sympathy vote in UP, Bihar, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Bihar, where they have decimated their state units, where they are a burden on their allies, where the regional parties are such wearied of the Congress that they do not want to be a part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So where is the sympathy vote also going to come from for the Congress? That is my question. And about the political narrative, this was an attack against the community. अगर कांग्रेस को लगता है कि नहीं था, आज सब रीजनल पार्टीज के लोग कह रहे नहीं था, तो आप केस क्यों नहीं लड़ रहे थे सूरत के कोर्ट में? सबको पता है that one of the worst legal teams was chosen to represent Rahul Gandhi in the Surat court. Today on television you want to say that this was never a case, this is dictatorship, but in the court you never wanted to fight that same case. How's that possible?
Okay, so you are right now rallying behind Rahul Gandhi, Riju Datta, but how do you explain the statistics of 32 people are disqualified under the same law? Same law. And of these 32, 7 people belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party. You've got people like P. Balakrishna Reddy, a BJP MLA who was also disqualified. You've got Vikram Saini, a BJP MLA who was disqualified. Khabbu Tiwari, BJP, also disqualified. Ashok Chandel, also BJP disqualified. Kuldeep Sengar, BJP also disqualified and subsequently also removed from the party. Same law, and today the argument is, aap isko witch hunt bol rahe ho, but the same law was applied when Kuldeep Sengar was disqualified. Everyone was rejoicing.
That was rape, this is defamation. I believe there is a difference. But anyways, as per the law that I understand...
But conviction is conviction.
Let me finish.
And the law is very clear that 2 years or more you are disqualified. That's the law.
You have come to me after 25 minutes. Give me 1 minute.
Sorry, go on.
Thank you. Thank you. So yes, I know the law that as soon as somebody is convicted for 2 years, Lily Thomas judgment kicks in and you're automatically disqualified. Very good. Now let me go by what has been happening in the country. The whole session of parliament is not being run where the onus was on the BJP to run the parliament. Why? Because one mere MP did not apologize. Not the leader of opposition or the president of the party. One mere MP did not apologize. Then there were some posters in Delhi, FIRs filed, people arrested. So it is very clear that the BJP wants to choke the voice of the opposition. We condemn the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi because this is a clear case of political vendetta. And why I say this, now I will give you the
decided in the court. It wasn't decided on the political battleground.
Can I finish, please? The Patna High Court gave a clean chit. Now, I'm not going to say anything, read between the lines. The Patna High Court gave a clean chit. The case was filed in Kolar. Then again, it was, super speeded. And, after Rahul Gandhi raised questions on Adani, super fast, the case was raised in Surat, in the Surat court, where the magistrate was also changed just before the judgment. So I am not saying anything. I am just saying that we condemn the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi because we think it's the lowest of low politics and political vendetta.
Okay, but since you're talking about political vendetta, before Sanju Verma responds, you said I'm not saying anything. You're also not mentioning one very important thing, that last month, since you're talking about crushing the voice of the opposition, why did you pick up Kaustubh Bagchi of the Congress, the same party which Rahul Gandhi belongs to? You picked him up at 3 in the morning without a warrant.
Can I tell you something?
Your West Bengal police picked him up without a warrant. Why? Because he spoke against Mamata Banerjee. Then Idris Ali, a MLA of your party, said Riju Datta that we just picked him up. People who speak against Mamata Banerjee, their legs will be broken, their arms will be chopped off.
Now can I answer?
Yes, go on.
For Idris Ali, that is a very idiotic comment. Idiotic comment. Yes. I will go into the extent to say that's an idiotic
comment. But he's still an MLA.
But I will say one thing which I think for the first time, Sumanji will also agree with me, that there is a clear line between free speech and hate speech. You cannot call, like I can criticize my Prime Minister, but I cannot directly call him names. He did not criticize the Chief Minister of West Bengal. He called her names. He called her a blood.
May I come in, Padmaja?
You cannot do that.
Okay,
there is a line.
Sanju Verma, respond.
Okay. I heard that shameful comment by Rahul Gandhi a dozen times before going on various debates. And he starts by saying this at that rally in Kolar. He says, मैं आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहता हूँ. ये जो मोदी, 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 he says thrice. ये जो मोदी, 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 ये सब मोदी चोर क्यों होते हैं? नीरव मोदी, ललित मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी. अभी और यदि हम खोजेंगे तो और कई मोदी निकल आएंगे. He basically says all Modis are thieves, and he brackets Prime Minister Modi along with the likes of Nirav Modi. Point number 2. This is not a case of a loose foment by a loose cannon. This is maligning and defaming an entire community, the OBC community / the Modi community. So please don't say that, Modi ji said this about Mamata Banerjee. We all know that public discourse sometimes gets heated during electioneering. But here we are talking of the OBC community which has come under fire for no rhyme or reason by a man who's electorally vanquished and is trying to gain political capital, even if it means that he ends up being a Trojan horse for his own party. And now the most important thing, give me 20 seconds, please. Give me 20 seconds. I am tired of this entire narrative. Each time I come on a debate, and this has been happening in the last 8 weeks, debate किसी भी topic पर हो, Adani. So let me tell you, on the 3rd of March 2023, now listen, on the 3rd of March 2023, the Supreme Court constituted a 7-member committee under the aegis of Justice Abhay Sapre to look into Adani's affairs. And do you know something? Who are the 2 most anti-BJP members of that committee? Somashekhar Sundaresan, who's also on the board of Oxfam, has never said one positive thing about Modi. Nandan Nilekani is a congressman. Did you see Sanju Verma, BJP leader, crying? Arey, Somashekhar Sundaresan ko kyun committee mein le liya?
Okay, we will talk about the Adani committee another day. I think we will have a very long session right now where the Adani JPC demand is going to continue. Sticking to the topic, going purely, just a second, Sanjeev Srivastava, because we are trying to analyze the political fallout. Going by past precedent of how the BJP and Congress have both crafted their political narrative, do you think the Congress is going to be able to capitalize on this rare moment where the opposition is backing them, all of them, even Aam Aadmi Party, imagine, whose minister's arrest was supported by the Congress party, today saying, we support Rahul Gandhi. Do you think the Congress is going to be capitalized on this moment to try and do something solid for 2024?
See, if the Congress is not able to capitalize even on Rahul Gandhi's expulsion and disqualification and whatever happens next, suppose if he goes to jail or whether the judgment is set aside, then they should actually stop being a political party. But very honestly, there are 2 things, Padmaja, which I would like to one I would like to repeat, that this whole OBC question, when even you were reeling out the percentages, 103 OBC MPs, 37 ministers, OBCs, that was precisely what I was saying in my opening comments, that BJP has always focused on OBC as a very important political constituency since 2014. So how will this add up? How can they build up on this is what amazes me. Because I don't, and I may be completely wrong, I don't think that people will buy this argument of that Rahul Gandhi's comment was an insult to OBCs, because like one of my fellow panelists, I think he was from RJD, said that there are surnames and surnames. A Singh can be a Bhumiyar, a Singh can be a Thakur, a Singh can be a Kais, a Verma can be a SC, he can be a Dalit.
They are not talking about Modi anymore. They are saying that Samaj ko insult kiya hai. And since you said, sir, since you said, how are they going to capitalize on this?
Yeah,
no, just if I may just make a small interjection at this point.
As it is,
there are 3 states at least where the BJP has major ground to cover. Telangana being most important, Tamil Nadu being the 2nd most important, and Kerala being the 3rd most important. These have been resisting the BJP's march and have a huge population of OBCs, which is they can go here saying कि अरे यहाँ DMK तमिलनाडु में कांग्रेस के साथ है, but Congress is insulting you, 57% of the OBCs in the state. So they are not limiting to Modi. They are saying it's OBC.
Yeah. So we are only 10 months away, or more than 10 months actually, a year away, May 24, and we'll know how much of OBC crowd in Tamil Nadu and Kerala comes out in support of the BJP because of this particular case. Since you are mentioning those 2 states, my limited point was that the BJP has already a very strong and effective presence amongst the OBCs. My understanding of the situation is that how will they further consolidate and build further on that OBC support base which they already have is what beats me. Because I don't think the rest of the country is going to buy this, that this was an insult to OBC. But it was my assessment and I can be wrong. But this is my take.
Sanju Verma claims she has an answer for you. Yes.
Okay. I just want to say one thing. I've been hearing on a couple of debates that, even Parsis are Modi, even Jains have Modis amongst them. I stay in Bombay and 85% of India's Parsi population stays in Mumbai. And let me tell you that Parsis themselves constitute less than 0.5% of India's population. And within them, people with Modi surname are very few. So let us not draw false equivalence. By and large, in Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, etc., Modis are OBCs. So the debate on that is settled. Point number one. Point number two, I want to tell Sanjeev Srivastava, he raised a very interesting point. The point here is not whether, Rahul Gandhi abused Nirav Modi or Lalit Modi, or for that matter, even the Prime Minister. Will you tolerate if I say that all Srivastavas are thieves? Will I tolerate if somebody tells me all Vermas are thieves? Will Padmaja tolerate if somebody says that all Joshis are thieves? So when you breach the line of decorum and you try and malign the entire community, you are no longer talking of individuals. And Sanjeev Srivastava, you on until debate said that Uttar Pradesh holds the key to any Lok Sabha election. And I hope you will realize that our vote share amongst the OBC community in Uttar Pradesh was 17% in 2012. And by 2021-22, it has risen to 64.6%. And non-Yadav OBCs constitute 25% of Uttar Pradesh's population. So if Rahul Gandhi cannot see that, he should not be in politics or in public life.
Okay, the question that has been raised about the Srivastavas and the Joshis and the Vermas, does the Mr. Datta on our panel want to take that? When an entire surname or a community is being brandished, how can you simply ignore it? Riju Datta.
Yeah, I mean, if the intention of the comment was to, abuse an entire community, like if somebody says, and I'll completely say this on record, that if somebody says all Dattas are chores, then I will be the first person to file a defamation case against them. No loses against
Precisely. Padmaja, one point.
Tushar Gupta.
But now
Padmaja, here is the thing.
No, wait. Riju Datta came up with a but. Okay, yes, go on. Yes.
So that is up to me. Say Tushar says all Dattas are chores, I file a defamation on him. Now if Calcutta High Court does not find Tushar guilty, but Tushar takes the case to his home ground, and there a lower court completely rebuts the High Court order and says he is guilty with 2 years of imprisonment, then it sets a different, precedence.
Actually, I think there is a slight mismatch here of facts. He wasn't given a clean chit by the Patna court. He was actually granted bail, because I think you're talking about the Sushil Modi case. So in Sushil Modi case, the Allahabad High Court case, there are 7 cases where Mr. Gandhi has got bail. The case hasn't been quashed. So let's not claim it as a clean chit. Tushar.
Also, Padmaja, I take offense to
No, he wasn't convicted, but he wasn't given a clean chit either. He did ask for quashing of the case, by the way. In Patna, it wasn't quashed. Yes, Tushar Gupta.
Also, Padmaja, I take offense to Riju Datta naming the Surat court as home ground of some party. The Indian judiciary, be it the Supreme Court or the lower courts, has been working tirelessly and laboriously since independence as a separate independent institution. So it's not good for regional parties to, attribute any political shade on them. But one final point,
and let me remind you that in 2019, it was an Ahmedabad court that gave bail to Mr. Gandhi in a defamation case. And you should also hold your horses, because Riju Datta, just in case the Gujarat High Court then puts a stay on this judgment, you will have to eat your words about home ground, and that will be very uncomfortable and not very palatable. But anyway, finish your point, Tushar Gupta.
Padmaja, I think he's going to we've always debated since the Bharat Jodo Yatra that for 24, Congress would need the regional players to also play along. Now, if tomorrow Congress wants to approach the regional players, how will these regional parties, be the Samajwadi, be the RJD, be it any other party across North India or South India, go to its voters and say, Rahul Gandhi is the prime ministerial face, the same face who called that OBC Samaj chore hai. How are the regional parties going to also explain that? So the regional parties who are already very wary of the Congress now have more reasons to distance themselves further from the Congress. So where does it leave Congress in search of its allies for 24 is also one question we should be asking.
Well, we'll be asking a lot of those questions. I suspect all of these questions is pretty much what we'll have to do over the next 9 months. Interesting times, but a lot of people have focused on the legality of not just this conviction, but why wasn't it challenged in time, and whether the disqualification was hurried and malified. That's going to be answered on the other side by one of the top legal minds in the country. For the time being though, talking politics of this conviction. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Sanju Verma.